Hello everyone, it's Chris. It's going to be a hot one today. When I started planning for a life without a car and with just the Spyder as my sole conveyance, I put a lot of thought into it. I'm a planner, I'm a thinker, and I didn't do this willy-nilly. Put a lot of thought into it. And when it came to weather and climate, most of my thoughts related to weather. I live in Niagara Falls. I live just north of Buffalo, New York. Snow, freezing cold temperatures, corrosion because of the salt that the trucks put down to melt the ice and the snow, getting up underneath on the underside of the Spyder, and how I would handle that and wash it during the winter and whatnot. That's where most of my thoughts were in terms of weather. A lot of other thought went into this, you know, financial considerations, lifestyle considerations, but a lot of it had to do with weather. Coming out of July, where we had multiple 90-degree days, and I spent a lot of time on the Spyder. I spent 2 weeks traveling where I would be out in the open during midday because, let's say, a hotel checkout was at 11 o'clock. Check-in for the next hotel might have been at 3 or 4 o'clock. I'm out in the midday sun on the Spyder, 90 degrees, no canopy over your head like you have with a car, no air conditioning. Either I'd have my gear on, as I do today. It was pretty brutal, to the point where often I would take my gear off, the gloves off, the mesh jacket off, and even in cases where it was legal to do so, I'd take my helmet off. The problem there is now I'm exposed to the direct sunlight. So I didn't have the sweltering heat from wearing the gloves and the helmet and the riding jacket, even the mesh jacket. But now I'm exposed to the sun. It's beating down on me. I'm in traffic. It was pretty brutal. So here we are in August. I'm thinking now that the summers will be more challenging than the winters. Now, I say that, I haven't spent a winter on the Spyder. I bought the Spyder on March 13th. We had freezing temperatures after March 13th. We had snow after March 13th. You may have watched a couple of my videos playing in the snow on the Spyder. In the month of August, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I think I should have put more thought into riding in the summer. So over the past couple of weeks, I put a lot of thought into it that I should have put into it back at the beginning of the year before I bought the Spyder. Not that it would have changed the decision. So anyway, I've come up with something that I think is going to be a sort of a workaround solution to riding the Spyder in the summer, broad daylight, 90-degree weather, and still be fairly comfortable. I will not be as safe as I would with the Climb really nice leather palm face, super awesome mesh gloves, with the mesh jacket that has abrasion resistance and padding on the elbows and the shoulders. I've got a full face helmet on right now that, you know, the GoPro is mounted to on my chin. I've got kind of a workaround that won't provide that level of safety, but I'll have some comfort. I'll at least be able to ride in, you know, the super heat of the summer and still be comfortable on the Spyder. So having said all of that, let me slip into something just a little bit more comfortable. And just like that, we have a whole new setup. So the first thing you're probably noticing is the angle of the camera and the view that you've got from my GoPro. It is different, right? And the second thing you're probably noticing is the audio sounds a little different. I'm hoping you can hear any of this. I've got different clothing on. I've got a different helmet on. My camera is no longer mounted at my chin. It is now mounted on top of my helmet, and I hate that. However, I am much more comfortable. But this clothing that I have on right now and the helmet that I'm wearing, and I'm going to show you, we're going to get off the Spyder, I'm going to show you up close and personal, believe me, on those hot days, and when I say hot, I mean 90 plus, when I'm just not going to be comfortable wearing the more protective black leather gloves that I have. I'm going to wear these. When I don't feel comfortable wearing that mesh black jacket, the black, which attracts the sun, as you know, I'm going to be wearing this jersey. I guess I'll start at the top with the helmet. So the helmet that I'm wearing now is an open face helmet. It's a Bell, I want to say they call it Pit Boss helmet. I've had it for a few years. It's a passenger helmet. I leave it on the Spyder. Before I had the Spyder, I left it on the side cases and the various bikes that I've had. But I've never worn it, ever. It's been for passengers. And when I started to think recently about, you know, riding in hot weather, I realized that, oh my gosh, I've got a helmet that would be much better than that, you know, oven that I put on my head in the form of a full face helmet. So I pulled out the open face helmet. So I'm wearing an open face helmet. I am fortunate that I had a mount that was supplied with the GoPro camera when I bought it that could affix to the top of this helmet. Now, I will tell you that go ahead, ladies. When I installed the chin mount, when I installed the adhesive mount to the top of the helmet, I did not do a good job. It is not perfectly centered, and so I'm having to cock my head a little bit to the left, and I'm hoping you have a more straight view than I do to compensate for the crooked adhesive mount on the helmet. The other thing is that complicates it is the microphone. So when I normally shoot video, every video prior to this one, the microphone is tucked into the chin bar of my full face modular helmet. And that modular helmet blocks out a lot of the wind noises and other noises that you would otherwise hear, that you're probably hearing right now. Now, I did a test yesterday with this, so I know it works, but it's certainly not as good as when the little microphone that is right now clipped to the chin strap of the open face helmet, when that microphone is tucked into the chin bar of the full face helmet, it's a lot clearer to listen to. So let me talk a little bit about the gloves and the shirt. So the gloves that I was wearing at the beginning of this video are Climb Baja gloves. They're mesh gloves, they're hot weather gloves, but they're black. They've got a full leather palm. They're very protective. And what that means is on a hot day, your hands are still sweating. There's just no way around it. I will occasionally put my hand out like this and catch some wind, but it's still really uncomfortable when it's 90 plus with those gloves on. So I did a little research, and Climb makes a lot of gear, not just for motorcycling, but for snowmobiling, for off-road motorcycling. And these gloves are Climb Mojave gloves. I'm hoping you can see them. I'm still new with the camera mounted on top of the helmet, so I'm not really sure what you can see and what you can't. But anyway, these are Climb Mojave gloves. Now, they are super lightweight. I mean, these gloves compared to the Climb Baja gloves, well, first of all, they cost half as much. They cost $40 where the other gloves cost $80. In addition to the expense, they're super light. This mesh that you're looking at right now is very, very thin. So this glove will be comfortable on even the hottest of days, and it's white. And so it will be reflective of the sun and not attracting like the black attracting the sun. The palm of this glove is like a suede synthetic leather, perforated. It offers some protection, but that protection is intended for hitting the dirt. You know, you fly off the enduro bike, you hit the dirt, you put your hands down, this glove's gonna protect you. It is not intended for getting thrown from the bike on the interstate, and I hope that never happens. I certainly hope it doesn't happen when I've got these gloves on. But when I'm wearing these gloves, it's because the alternative would be no gloves. I know you've seen my other videos where I rode with no gloves on. This will be better hitting the pavement than hitting it with no gloves. So that brings me to the jersey, the shirt. And again, I'm gonna get off the bike, we're gonna look at all this stuff up close. But the shirt is a Climb Mojave shirt. And unlike the gloves, the shirt really offers no protection other than protection from the sun. One, it is white, so it reflects the sun. Two, it is fully meshed. I mean, it is awesome. I cannot tell you how comfortable and lightweight the jersey is, how comfortable it is. And again, it's only 84 on my Spyder thermometer. It's probably high 70s in actuality, but I can tell that this will be just as comfortable as wearing just a t-shirt. And so while this jersey offers no protection in terms of abrasion, there's no padding, when I wear this jersey, I would otherwise be wearing a t-shirt. And so when I hit the pavement, and I hope it never happens, but if I ever do, I know that if I didn't have this jersey on, I'd have a t-shirt on. So just think about that when you're thinking about, gee, Chris, I don't know if that's very safe what you're doing. What I'm gonna do is explain all of this gear at my home, and then what we'll do is we'll get back on the bike and we'll sum up and we'll go from there. Hi everyone, and welcome to my humble abode. I'm going to make this as quick as I possibly can. I want to basically show you my summer gear in terms of my safe gear. I'll call it safe gear, which is the mesh jacket, the nice climb mesh gloves with the leather palm. I'll show you my helmet that I wear year round. And then I'm going to show you on this side my open face helmet, my Climb Mojave jersey. It's not a jacket, it's a jersey. It is not safe, I recognize that, and my Climb Mojave gloves, and you can get kind of a comparison. I'm wearing the t-shirt because I want to show you how the jersey fits, because it's a medium size. It fits perfectly. The sleeves they could be maybe an inch longer, but it fits okay, but it's very tight on the neck, and it's very difficult to get on. I don't have a big head, I don't think, either physically or psychologically. I don't have a big neck. I've got, I think, a small neck. It's 15.5 inches for a dress shirt. Yet for some reason, the Climb Mojave jersey is very tight around the neck. But I like that because that'll cover up more of my neck from the sun when the sun's beating down from behind, especially when I'm wearing that open face helmet. So I'm gonna show you, first we'll start out with the safer gear, and then we'll go to the, let's say, the less safe gear, and we'll wrap it up. Okay, so first I'll start with the helmet. So this is the helmet that I wear year round. This is a Scorpion EXO AT950, and it's a full face modular helmet. So what I like about the modular helmet is that this chin, I don't know what they call this, but it's a chin protector. I strap my microphone to this. I never used to use this, but when I started doing motovlogging, I started using this because my microphone literally rests right on top of this thing. But anyway, it opens up. You can see I've got a little Sena intercom inside this as well. But I love the fact that it's modular. I can lift it up and get a drink. I can lift it up and talk to a toll booth attendant. I like the fact that it's got a retractable sun shield, as you can see there. I think you can see it. I like that. But the biggest thing I like about this is this peak, this visor, beak, whatever this thing is called. I love this. And before I bought this, I was on a quest to find a helmet with this beak. And here's why. I remember riding off into the sun, heading, let's say, west in the afternoon or east in the morning, and I'd be riding a two-wheel motorcycle, one hand on the throttle and the other hand blocking the sun. Now I don't have to do that anymore. I just kind of dip my head forward, and this blocks the sun. I absolutely love it. The other thing that I'll show you is, okay, the Climb leather gloves that are also mesh. These are Climb Baja gloves. They're like super gloves. They're protective. They're relatively comfortable in hot weather, but when it gets above, let's say, the high 80s and it's really humid, they become difficult to wear. But they're a great pair of gloves. By the way, I hope you know this. I am not being compensated, but certainly not any of the vendors that sell any of this gear. None whatsoever. And lastly, I've talked about my Alpine Stars mesh jacket. This is very protective. It's abrasion resistant, synthetic material. It's got padding in the elbows and the shoulders, but it's a nice jacket. So now what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about the less safe gear. Okay, so I guess I'll start out with, let's start at the top with the helmet. So this is a Bell Pit Boss helmet. It's a, you can see my little GoPro adhesive mount there. This is put on slightly crooked. I think I mentioned this on the bike. So when the camera's on there are a couple of issues. First of all, the camera lens is not centered on the camera. It's slightly to the right. And then this is slightly crooked. So on the few times when I shoot motovlogs with this helmet, and that's only gonna be if I absolutely wanna shoot a video on an absolutely hot day, I literally have to tilt my head a little to the left so that you can see it level. But it also has a drop-down sun visor. It's also got a slight beak, a slight peak, whatever this is called, this visor. I like this. It actually does work. If I dip my head forward, it helps block out the sun. And it's got a zip out padding here, this padding here, so that you can see my ears are exposed. Now on a hot day, I'm gonna like that. But if I wanna wear earplugs on a long distance highway ride and I'm wearing this helmet, I probably will put in that zip out lining, put it back in, because it might make it a little less comfortable, but it'll keep those earplugs in. I've had a situation where I've taken this helmet off and the earplugs popped off. So that's the helmet. The gloves are, the difference between these two gloves in terms of weight and size is amazing. You can't really see it on the camera, but it's a super lightweight glove. The mesh is like on the top is it's almost not there. It's so very light. I can see my fingers through it. In addition, it's a light color. I don't like colorful things like this at all. I never buy stuff like this, but this kind of reminds me of, if you're a Seinfeld fan, of Kramer's coat when he was, I forgot the gist of the story, but he had this like pimp's coat on, and it's like that. I like grays and charcoals and blacks. I would love it if the palm was all gray like that, and if this was all white, but Climb sells what they sell, so this is the lightest color glove I could get. But it's a super glove, and it does offer some protection. This palm is a suede. You can see here it's got the touchscreen compatible thumb and forefinger. It's a suede synthetic leather that's perforated. I don't want to hit the pavement on these gloves. I don't want to hit the pavement, like, period. But if it does happen, I hope I don't have these gloves on. But as I said on my motorcycle, if I do, the alternative to this glove is this hand. And I'd much rather hit the pavement with this glove than this hand. And last but not least is the jersey. So this is the Climb Mojave jersey. I actually like this color because it's all white, a little bit of light gray, and a little bit of dark gray, charcoal. It might even be black. What I don't like is like the big K. I get it, that they want to brand themselves, but I wouldn't feel comfortable walking into like a restaurant or something with this jacket on. If it was like a dressier restaurant with the big K on it, I wish it wasn't there, because quite frankly, if it wasn't, it'd be a nice casual shirt. But I want to show you how like tight this neck is, and I'm going to take off my glasses and put this on because it won't go on with the glasses. It barely goes on. Watch this. I mean, you can see my ears. It's pulling my ears down. I'm going to put it on so you can see the whole thing, how it fits, because it fits really well. You know, even the sleeve, I said the sleeve was a little short. I have to stretch out to make it short. It just fits perfectly. The neck is just a little tight. So now you've seen kind of the summer riding gear I have that is safe, that I will wear on most days when it's not oppressive, and the less safe gear. Oh, the other thing is I've got this white microfiber towel. On days when the sun is beating down on me and I've got to be, let's say, on the interstate for a long period of time, and I'm wearing the half shell helmet, this is something I can put underneath the helmet, the back of my neck, tuck it into my shirt, tuck it into this Climb jersey, and it'll offer my neck some protection, because my neck is getting darker and darker because I'm, you know, out in the sun so much. So we'll jump back on the bike and we'll take it from there. Okay, so you've seen the gear up close. I acknowledge that it is not the safest gear in the world. I am not advising anybody to go out and buy anything, but this is merely what I'm going to be doing when it's, let's say, high 80s and humid and very humid, or in the 90s, and I've got to be in the sun during the day. This is what I'll be wearing. And if you found this video at all helpful, please hit like. If you have any comments on any of this, please comment. If you don't subscribe to the channel yet, I sure would appreciate it if you would. And as we cross the upper rapids of the Niagara River, I'm going to sign off giving you a breathtaking view. And I don't even have to stand up for this because I know my helmet, my GoPro camera is on top of my helmet. So having said all of that, thank you once again, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.